A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. May I begin with thanking all of you for coming this morning to what we consider a very, very significant occasion. And since the weather is hot and humid, I will not make an address. I will just say a few words. First of all, I would like to thank, on behalf of myself, my colleagues at the Indian Embassy, as well as the entire government of India, all of you, particularly General Amos Gilad, who's come all the way, Mr. Lincoln, Secretary General of the Baha'is, and of course our friend Mr. Vance, Mr. Gilboa, on behalf of the Haifa municipality, and through him the mayor of Haifa, and of course our friends from the Haifa Historical Society, without which this function would not have been possible. I would also like to thank Mr. Paul Price of the Commonwealth Graves Commission for helping us to organize this function and for his cooperation in extending this to other Indian cemeteries in Israel. And of course, the Commonwealth Graves Commission, in its own way, has looked after the graves and the memory and the cremation sites or cremation memorial stones of all the Indian soldiers, not only in Israel, but in many other theaters of the First and Second World Wars. You are absolutely right, gentlemen, when many of you have mentioned, particularly Colonel Joda, that how Haifa is remembered in the Indian Army. And Haifa Day is the raising day of the 61st Cavalry, which is the present day regiment. I understand it is the only remaining horsed cavalry regiment in the world, which incorporated within itself the three major Lancer units who fought in the First World War, the Hyderabad Lancers, the Mysore Lancers, and of course the Jodhpur Lancers who fought here. We have a very important monument in New Delhi, the Teen Murti, which also commemorates the Battle of Haifa. And this is a monument which is right outside the house of the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And this is one of the most significant roundabouts that you have in New Delhi today. Until I was told about it, I did not know about it. So maybe it's only very well known within the Indian Army circles. So when we are doing a function like this, and hopefully, according to the very generous commitment given by Mr. Gilboa, this is the first of many functions, we are bringing together the memory and spreading the memory not only in Israel but also in India. One more link between India and Israel, of which we have several others in every field of activity that we have today. Indian soldiers died in tens of thousands in the First World War and in the Second World War. Not in the Second World War here, but certainly in many, many other places. And they died, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians. They died. The important thing to my mind is that they died when their country was not even independent. They died when they were fighting, while they were fighting a colonial power at home, they were fighting for that colonial power abroad. And to my mind, I think this shows somewhere a superior moral commitment. It shows that they were soldiers in the true sense of the word. They were committed to the flag that they were fighting under, and they fought with it and paid the ultimate sacrifice. I can only say that for an ambassador of India, there can be rarely a more proud moment than this, when we commemorate our fallen soldiers. So may I, ladies and gentlemen, request you now to observe 2 minutes of silence in memory of the Indian soldiers.